Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express, the important news and editorial that will be relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 5th of August, the first important news, that is Cabinet clear Indian Telecommunication Bill 2023. Second, Lok Sabha passes Inter-Services Organization Bill 2023. Third, that is panel suggests lowering age for contesting the assembly poll. Second last, that is nursing student can opt to study in foreign languages. They can opt one language as study. And the last is an editorial, the cheetah's return. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming examination. So without any further ado, let's get started. And if you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do hit that like button. Starting the session, the first news, that is Cabinet clear Indian Telecommunication Bill. Something important for the part when it comes to the regulation of OTT. The bill was passed after the final scrutiny, and there were a lot of debate that was ongoing with regards to the telecommunications bill. Something important for General Studies paper 2, that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from its design and implementations. So Union Cabinet has actually cleared the part of draft regulations for Indian Telecommunications Bill 2023, which contain the relaxations in regulating the communication such as WhatsApp and Google Meet. So apart from this, OTT will also be taken into consideration when it comes to the part of regulation. The bill, however, is unlikely to be introduced in the ongoing session of the Parliament. Because of that, there are a lot of other bills that are still awaiting for the passage, so possibly government will not introduce in this monsoon session. Now, there are significant relaxations to process the regulations over the top communication services that is required to obtain the license from the government. Among the most contagious issues in the bill, as I have already made a discussion before as well, the main provisions I have also discussed. If you have not watched that video, do check it out. But in this video session, I'll make you the brief give you the brief introduction for the part of the bill and why it is necessary. So provisions की अगर बात करें इस बिल में, the bill proposes to enlarge the scope of telecommunication services, जिसमें कुछ important चीजों को include की गई है. The first being included as a part of OTT, over the top, internet based satellite, that is internet based. उसके अलावा satellite based communication, this is the second. Then broadcasting will be third. Then we have internet as a fourth, and the broadband services within its ambit. So these are the part of the broad area of telecommunication services that is under the ambit of the bill. The draft bill also accord the center power to defer and convert into equity, right of grants, and even any license under the extraordinary circumstances, including financial stress, consumer interest, maintaining the competitions, among the other things. Now it seeks to replace 3 laws. कौन-कौन से ऐसे 3 laws हैं जो replace होंगे? Something important for the examination. You can take a note of this. जो 3 laws repeal हो रहे हैं, that is Indian Telegraph Act 1885, उसके अलावा Indian Wireless Telegraphy Act 1933 और the Telegraph Wire Unlawful Possession Act 1950. So these are some of the laws. Most of them, 2 of them being the colonial law, will be replaced by the new version. Now background की अगर बात करें इस बिल की, the bill was first released last year. In that version, it proposes to include the services like WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram under the definitions of the telecommunication services, right? But as per the initial draft, जो providers थे telecommunication services के will be covered under the license regime and will be subject to similar rules on per the telecommunications operators. Demand for level playing field की बात की गई है. The stakeholders, the individual who will be impacted with this particular bill, they have actually come up and they have said that we need a level playing field. So under the contention of the several years, with now telecommunication services providing the level playing field for the OTT apps, the communication services such as voice calls, messages, etc., where operators can have a high income cost, and the license spectrum where OTT players wrote their infrastructure for the free services. So everything the license has to be operated. Even if you go for 5G spectrum, there are no 5G services, you have to borrow a spectrum to the government. So this is something when purchases of the spectrum is done by the private company, so they will definitely make some profit out of it. Another contagious provision is that the initial bill was the attempt to amend the part of Telecommunication Regulatory Authority Act, जिसे TRAI Act भी कहते हैं, to dilute the part of sector watchdog for being as part of the recommendatory body, right? So TRAI is an important powerful body. उसके कुछ important provisions हैं. इंडिया में एक apex regulatory body है. So the watchdog functioning was actually recommendatory in nature. Now the things will function accordingly. Government अगर ज़रूरत पड़ी तो और consultations के बाद भी कुछ important inputs ले सकते. Now the other news, Lok Sabha passes Inter Services Organization Bill 2023, something important for General Studies Paper 3. That is the various security forces, agencies and their mandate. How does it function? ISO is again important and you need to know this. This is specifically important for both prelims and mains examination. Now, government in a measured steps to build the integrated theatre command. Lok Sabha ने इस bill को pass किया. This is interstate services. Better, I'll be addressing this as ISO. This call for command, control and discipline bill 2023. तो standing committee ने इसको approve किया है with the part of the provisions, and the House panel has recommended that the bill should be passed without any amendment. So no amendment during the scrutinization process was recommended. The bill was under subject to the part of Standing Committee 39 report in the 17th Lok Sabha. Empowering the military chief, this is what the main aim of this bill is. So इसके through जो commander in chief होंगे, this is the one position that is held, and the second is officer in command of the interstate services or the inter services organization will have all disciplinary and administrative power in respect to the panel serving or attached to such organization. तो दो पोजीशन जो कमांडर इन चीफ की है और ऑफिसर इन कमांड की, उनको एम्पावर की गई है. दे हैव बीन इंटरेस्टेड विद मोर पावर सो दैट द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ देयर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बिकम मोर विजिलेंट. नाउ करेंटली आर्म फोर्सेस की अगर बात करें, दे आर गवर्नड इन अकॉर्डेंस टू द प्रोविजंस विच इज स्पेसिफिकली मेंशन इन द सर्विसेज एक्ट. अगर आर्मी की बात करें तो आर्मी एक्ट 1950 है. फॉर नेवी वी हैव नेवी एक्ट 1957. फॉर एयरफोर्स वी हैव एयरफोर्स एक्ट 1950. सो ये तीनों आपको ध्यान में होनी चाहिए. The ISO, that is the Inter-Services Organization 2023, shall be applicable to the all personnel of Army, Navy and Air Force. This is an important point to be noted, specifically for prelims. And personnel for other forces will be notified by the central government who are serving in the attached office of the Inter-Services Organization. Now, various tangible benefits की बात की गई है according to the statement which was given by the Minister of Defence. There were some important tangible benefits that was highlighted. First, call for maintenance of effective discipline in the inter-services establishment by head of the ISO. उसके अलावे there will be no requirement for reverting the personnel under the disciplinary proceedings as a part of the parent service unit, or expeditiously disposable of cases की जाएंगे in terms of any misdemeanor which is taking place or indisciplinary action which is there, saving the public money and time, avoiding the multiple proceeding. So the empowerment call for the earliest resolutions, and even that something call for the final resolutions from their end. Moving ahead, panel suggests lowering the age for contesting assembly poll, something very important. There can be a debate about this particular topic, but if panel has recommended, you should definitely have your opinion because this can be asked in the mains examination. जहाँ 18 years की बात की गई है तो आपसे भी इस पे सवाल पूछे जा सकते हैं. Now important for general studies paper 2, that is the parliament, state legislature and function and power issues and privileges issues arising from it. ये कुछ important topics हैं जहाँ पे ये आपके लिए important हो सकते. Now the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Personal Grievances, Law and Justice have suggested reducing the minimum age requirement for the national elections particularly from 25 to 18. This is what the recommendation was made for 18 years. Now, how feasible it will be in India, because it has been talked about कि क्या इतने कम एज में एक इंडिया जैसे डेमोक्रेसी में जहाँ पे रिप्रेजेंटेशन की बहुत ही अहम इंपॉर्टेंस है, आई मीन दे आर द क्रूशियल पार्ट बिकॉज डेमोक्रेसी कॉल फॉर रिप्रेजेंटेशन. तो इलेक्शन कमीशन का कहना है कि दिस वुड बी अनरियलिस्टिक टू एक्सपेक्ट दैट इंडिविजुअल ऑफ यंग एज, दैट इज ऑफ 18 years, will be manage the responsibility of public representation. See, I mean, if the elections contest can be there and if anything can be there, if not 18, I personally feel ये 21 होनी चाहिए, because 21 make you eligible for job as well in India, right? तो आप ये एक input point वहाँ पे add कर सकते हैं as a suggestions कि 21 year is something that is a pretty mature enough, because you are graduate also. At 18 you cannot be graduate, right? तो 18 is pretty low मेरे हिसाब से. I personally feel 21 होनी चाहिए, and if you're writing in mains आप भी इससे supporting argument दे सकते हैं. Currently, the minimum age for the Assembly and Lok Sabha election is 25, and the voting age is at 18 years old. Right? The global practices की अगर बात करें, पार्लियामेंट्री पैनल ने बताया जैसे यूनाइटेड किंगडम, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, कनाडा, यहाँ पे मिनिमम एज 18 रखी गई है, and these has been working as a part of a reliable and responsible political participants. कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट रिकमेंडेशंस दी है पार्लियामेंट्री स्टैंडिंग कमेटी ने, जो कि पर्सनल पब्लिक ग्रीवांसेस, लॉ, जस्टिस के ऊपर जो कमेटी है, the PSC, they've said that the younger candidate could bridge the gap between the different generation, facilitating dialogue and cooperation. This is very true. It is something that is going to be fulfilled. But we have to see whether 18 is a mature enough age or it should be upgraded to 20. If you want to degrade it from 25, अगर 25 से कम करनी है, so this can be the best option with the government. Now, it recommended that the Election Commission and government implement civic program to provide young individual with the knowledge, skill necessary for the political engagement. Average age of MPs की अगर बात करें, PRA's Legislative Research, it's a think tank, they have come up with the data that 47% of the Lok Sabha MPs were over 55 in 2019. और पैनल ने प्रिस्क्राइब किया that इंडिया की जो मीडियन एज है that is 27.9. Now, only 2.2% of the Lok Sabha is currently at 30, and currently 17 Lok Sabha, there are 34 sitting MPs between 30 to 40 of the age. So these are some of the findings that was given by the PRS Legislative Research. You can directly quote by naming this particular institution. It's a well-reputed institution. Now, nursing student can opt to study foreign language, something important for general studies paper 2. That is the issues related to development and management of education and human resources. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare ने पहली बार एक चीज इनिशिएट की है, where they call for additional foreign languages as an optional subject in the BSc Nursing Midwifery, जिसे GNM programs भी कहते हैं, उसमें अलाउ किया है. The Indian Nursing Council has issued notifications on August 2, announcing that the new initiative aimed at promoting the internalization of the education. The program also hopes to enhance the overall personality development of the nursing student, that is equipped with the valuable skill set for the future careers. Now, बात करिए optional foreign languages की, क्या क्या ऐसे foreign languages के options दिए जाएंगे. The optional foreign language course will provide nursing student with an added advantage during the degree and diploma program. The student will have an opportunity to choose from the range of foreign languages, including French, German, Greek, Latin, Irish, Korean, Spanish, Portuguese, and other. These diverse array of languages option ensure the student can select that aligns to the interest and career aspirations of the as per the senior officers. This was the finding that was said. Equitable educations की बात की गई. If you see the part of languages and the part of diversity that is there in India, so this call for that conducting hiring specific languages teachers, hiring the teacher that is born with the respective institutions. Indian Nursing Council ने बताया है that they are emphasizing where student cannot be charged with exorbitant fee. बहुत high fee की जरूरत नहीं. Exorbitant mean excess high, right? So this should not be there, and nursing student can opt for studying foreign language as an added advantage for the overall personality development and pursuing their degree. If required, they can also proceed and have a job in the abroad and in the foreign countries. Moving ahead with the editorial of the day, the cheetah's return, something important for General Studies paper 3, that is conservation, environmental pollutions, degradation and EI. तो बात करें इश्यूज की इसके अंदर, बिफोर दैट विल लुक इनटू द पार्ट ऑफ थीम एंड फोकस. रीइंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ चीता एंड डेथ की बात की गई है, जो नंबर ऑफ डेथ रिपोर्ट किए गए हैं चीता का. ऑरिजिन ऑफ चीताज देखेंगे, कंसर्न एंड द कंक्लूजन पार्ट. I'll give you the background also, how the news has emerged. Now, एक और चीता की डेथ रिपोर्ट की गई है कूनो नेशनल पार्क से, विच इज़ देयर इन मध्य प्रदेश. और इन मॉडर्न टाइम्स में देखिए, human impacts are primarily responsible for the species extensions and the biodiversity. It's not only for cheetah, but for all part of the diversity that is there, human impact is definitely responsible for it. Cheetahs, the only carnivore, had made extension to an independent by human action, was recently introduced by the Prime Minister in September 2022. Kuno National Park की अगर बात करें, was restored as in the reintroduction of lion also. About 20 villages was relocated and created 748 kilometers of human-free national park for cheetahs also, as well as for the lion also. Now, origin of Indian cheetah की बात करें, recent genetic analysis ये पता चला that Indian cheetahs have shown an animal origin in Persia, and the cheetahs, lion, striped hyena, honey badger, cardinal, and the gharial are the part of the Ethiopian fauna, which has colonized India and Persian has an ancient time. So these are the historical background. The cheetah served as a evolutionary forces, which is responsible for fast speed, black buck, and majority of its prey. कंसर्न की अगर बात करें, बहुत सारी ऐसे कंसर्न रेस की गई है ना. रिसेंट टाइम वी हैव सीन जो स्ट्राइप्स होती हैं चीता के ऊपर, दैट इज बीइंग टू लोकेटेड, that has also caused the level of infection, which has also led to the death. But we cannot only rely on this, there are other reasons also. Unfortunately, जो Indian conservatists हैं, they have failed to provide the correct narrative to the government for the indigenous species or flagship part of their conservations. Last बात करें Great Indian Bustard की, the grassland flagship is dueling their die from the collisions of the power lines. राजस्थान में भी कई ऐसी बातें हुई हैं, हाई कोर्ट ने भी इसको लेकर के इस चीज को नोटिस किया था, and they have asked the regulation for that also. However, successful reintroductions require a long-term commitment, right? ऐसा नहीं है कि तुरंत ही आपको रिजल्ट मिलेगी. It takes year like none less than 3 to 4 to 5 years. However, rewinding ecosystem for reintroduction of the biotic part should be incentivized by the voluntary relocations and translocation of the communities. It should be done by the tiger reserve, controlling the bushmeat consumptions and restorations of the prey. Now, अगर conclusions की बात करें, see the first and foremost part, habitat एक बहुत ही important concern है, right? So habitat has become an important fact. तो क्या कोनो एक best place है या फिर उसे राजस्थान में भी कहीं locate कर सकते हैं? This is what the court has, on several occasions court has also asked. So the scheme to compensate the life of predations is a transparent need to be implemented. Unfortunately, जो अनएक्सपीरियंस स्टाफ है उनकी वजह से भी चीता की जो डेथ है उसमें एक टाइम लग रही है. इफ वुड हैव ईजिली आइडेंटिफाई द इन्फेक्शन, तो क्या पता उन्हें बचाया जा सकता था, राइट? बट वी कैन नॉट हैव एक्सपीरियंस पार्ट. वेटनरी डॉक्टर्स की कमी है, दैट इज द रीजन वी आर लूजिंग आउट ऑन दैट पार्ट ऑल्सो. द डेथ हैज सेट अ सेटबैक फॉर द प्रोजेक्ट and has become the cause for failure. And the part of the MOUs that is there between India and Namibia, South Africa ने भी कहा that they will be monitoring the part. अगर ज़रूरत पड़ी तो experts भी ला सकते हैं. But reintroduction of the cheetah in India, as anticipated, the progress that was anticipated has not yet been met. So we have to see how it will actually work out. Now, the reintroduction project is much required for the ecological security of the country. If not, we need to achieve that so that the progress is there. And finally, the part which is there should make a progress, because the cheetah reintroduction will even call for the ecological balances, right? It is not only for national park or for the visitor, it is also to maintain the ecological balance of the forest. Now, moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day, before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday's questions. For first question, the correct option is A. For second question, the correct option is B. Today's MCQ for practice. is about the election symbol. When a recognized political party is split, the regional officers take decision on assigning the symbol. Two or more political parties can have a symbol in the same territory. So do check out for the correct option. Second is about the National Mobile Monitoring Software app. It's permit for the real-time attendance of the worker in the Mahatma Gandhi NRE website. And this app was launched by the Ministry of Rural Development. So do check out for the correct option. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, queries about test series, courses and admission, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.